Hello, everyone, and welcome to Synergi's executive podcast series, the first BPO-led discussion platform in the MENA region. And today we have the pleasure to host Ara and Majd, where we will discuss greatly about how businesses collaborate when it comes to growth and how family offices can actually benefit from different types of services, including outsourcing services and fractional leadership roles. So thank you very much, Ara and Majd, for being here with us.
Pleasure. It's our pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. Maybe let's start by getting to know a bit more about your journey and if you tell us a bit more about PLP.
Okay. My name is Majd Maaita, and actually been in the country for around 26 years now. I started my career in the UAE in the banking sector with National Bank of Abu Dhabi, where I become in charge of the security services division, become the managing director. And then I was very much involved into building up all businesses, banking businesses related to the stock markets, as well as those related to the restructuring companies. So we build the ECM business, the IPOs, the custodian, settlement banks, registrar services, and so on. And then back in 2017, I moved to work as an advisor with the stock markets, mainly to encourage more and bring more listing to the stock exchange. However, during my serve with the Abu Dhabi Stock Exchange, I got the opportunity to work on around 18 initiatives, mainly to enhance the capital market and induce these SMEs as well as the family businesses. And there we're creating different platforms and that enable and encourage new listing. And then I decided to build the Pathlink partners as a private practice. Luckily, I managed to bring Ara with me as my partner, as well as another honorable local person who is really been a very significant contributor to the economy and the ecosystem of Abu Dhabi, into really putting rules into how to enhance businesses, especially on the SME side, and promote for Abu Dhabi as well as the UAE. Between the investment background of Ara, myself, and our partners, we consolidate around 100 years of experience that we all shaped into Pathlink partners. Our main target into this company is to cover gaps, to enable corporate companies, SMEs, to be ready to grow. Among them is the IPO path. So to reach that level, definitely you need to go into institutionalization. You need to bring in more corporate governors, more compliance, risk management, and most important, definitely know how to empower people around you to do the business. As of this year, we're very much into the family business. We believe that we want to bring or accumulate our knowledge to be part of the ecosystem, which we have previously contributed to, and we are very proud to say that. But we wanna contribute to be part of the ecosystem of the government initiatives into enhancing the family businesses this year. So we very much will be working into bringing family businesses to sustain growth. I would say our role is to help businesses, family businesses, to move away from founder dependency model into institutional one. So this is really what we are trying to do with Pathlink.
Amazing journey, Majd. And for those who don't know Majd, actually, he's the king of IPO in Abu Dhabi. So
Thank you.
thank you very much for this introduction. Maybe Ara, if you can tell us a bit more about yourself.
Sure. Thank you, Muhammad, for having us. My background has been in mainly investment banking, where my prior career was in London, and I've been in the UAE for just over 21 years now, in investment banking as well as investments and family businesses. I'm also an accredited corporate director, so that gives me the background of governance, of advising companies how to position themselves to become better organized, and as Majd said earlier, to make sure that the path to growth is a sustainable one. And that's a very, very important point to make, because as we will, I'm sure, discuss later on, the UAE has seen a tremendous growth.
Yeah.
And with it, you have the transition of family businesses and how they're entering the global economy.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you for this. Actually, it comes at a very important point where 2026 is the year of the family.
It
Right.
is,
So
yes.
it's announced by His Highness the President. So having said that, where do you see your role and how the family groups, the family businesses, for long-term succession, for sustainability, what are the main drivers that they are pushing them to take certain measures, and how PLP is actually participating to this landscape?
Well, actually, as I told you, we very much wanted to integrate our know-how and knowledge to very much support the government initiatives. So far what we have done actually in that regard, and to make sure that we are part of the ecosystem and the bodies that actually are enablers and deliver those initiatives, is definitely we approach those government bodies that very much are taking care into implementing into these initiatives, mainly the Abu Dhabi Chamber and the Abu Dhabi and the ADGM Academy, where we very much now, actually only yesterday we've been talking to these people as well. So we want to be part of the solutions they create, and actually what they have presented so far is really wonderful. Our next stage definitely will be here in Dubai, where actually inshallah we'll be talking also to the bodies that are really can very much lead the path into bringing all participants into action. So and as simple as I told you, the message is very clear. What we have been doing for the last 25 years is simply can be cascaded down to the family businesses, and to make sure that they sustain their growth, they sustain their businesses as well.
Okay. Ara, if we look at families, complexity is increasing, the economic context is changing, new generations come in,
Yes.
new working style. So families will look at their continuation, obviously. Having said that, what are the operational challenges that you have seen or you have experienced as an outsider looking at and working with family offices? What are the main operational challenges, inefficiencies that you have spotted across?
Well, that's a very, very topical question. The main issue that we have seen day in, day out has been decision making rights. As you know, when these companies or family businesses, when they were founded, you had a founder, a single individual, let's say, that created that business. And over the years, again, as you mentioned, with the globalization trend, you've had these businesses grow, multiply, whether it's different asset classes, different industries, different geographies. So you can imagine the business has grown, yet the decision making has remained the same. That same individual, that same founder. The issue with that is you can't grow that way. What are the problems when you have a founder-led who isn't letting go of the decision-making process? The issues you have is, for example, there will be bottlenecks. Everything has to be channeled up to that individual. Decision-making becomes slow. Talent, employees. When you don't empower them, the good employees, there's a very high likelihood that they will be poached by different companies who are willing to give them much more power, let's say, empower them more. These issues of tight decision-making, being held into one individual, they have serious consequences of businesses. What happens is you start losing value in a slow way, silently. You lose a contract here because you're slow to respond to things. You lose a contract there. The good people leave, and suddenly you have a big drop in business, and your value is decreased. So what we tell companies is, look, don't be afraid of governance. Governance is not there to take control away from you.
Yes.
Governance is there to allow to delegate authority.
Execute better, maybe also.
Yeah, absolutely. Delegate decision making into your organization. You bring in professional people, delegate them, and through that governance framework, you can have oversight. So if you, as the founder, you're really concerned about giving up control, with governance, proper governance, you set up the infrastructure, you set up the rules and regulations, you set up the policy procedures, and you monitor these. But let the people execute what they have to do. I mean, the other day we had an example where a manager of a business couldn't approve a single expense item of about around 5,000 dirhams.
Okay.
They had to go back and take permission from the head office. And this is a manager of a business. These kinds of experiences don't go well in today's world where everything is digitized. People expect decisions to be done quicker. And the fact of the matter is, it's a bit ironic in a way. Founders, they want control to make sure that their legacy
is preserved.
Is preserved, absolutely. And what happens with that tight control? It works backwards. It backfires because that tight control doesn't allow businesses to grow. And ultimately, it's to the detriment of the growth. So which is completely the opposite of what the founder wanted in the first place.
Creates a bottleneck properly.
Absolutely.
And things are only channeled through one source, which puts a lot of pressure on any business.
Definitely.
And Muhammad, we see a lot of these. A lot of businesses, they are founder born. And today we are in this transition phase where that old generation, the founding generation, are reaching an age where, they want to pass the baton, let's say, to the next generation. Or some of them, they become unavailable for whatever reason. And this is a very, very topical issue in the economy with the leadership of the country. And that's where you've got these legislation coming in on a federal level, on emirate level, to make sure there is proper groundwork, there is proper reference points for these family businesses to prepare themselves for a proper, orderly succession.
Interesting. So one dear topic to my heart is actually outsourcing and shared services, because it's actually one of the main drivers of success as well when built properly. So if we look at it from the perspective of family company, family-led businesses, private offices even, is this something which is looked at seriously, respected, looked at to be implemented? Do you see this with your clients?
we do definitely. We've got plenty of these companies, these businesses that have grown, and they have different silos, and some of the businesses have different partners, and each of those businesses may have different back-end activities, if I could say. For example, whether it's the HR department, IT department, accounting department, finance, etc. So potentially, you might have an extreme number of duplication of all these services. The group might be the same, but each of the businesses are running independently. Now, what's the issue with this? The issue with this is that there is a lack of proper governance here, because duplicating all these activities, from a management perspective, you have different standardization issues, different ways of reporting, which may not be aligned. So you don't have that group-wide visual information as a founder or as an owner. And that creates issues because you don't have proper insight as to what are the businesses doing.
Yeah.
Where we come in, we tell these businesses, look, consider business process outsourcing, because that will give you
Efficiency.
the efficiencies. Absolutely, Majd. That will give you efficiencies in all these back-end processes. Cost savings, it may not happen, but the main point is the efficiency. And why is that important? Because it will then allow you to have better control, better view, and better management of your business. And the other important thing, Muhammad, is these companies should treat these business process outsourcing service providers as a strategic partner, not as a vendor.
Yes.
And if you align yourself with these BPO companies in terms of, Mr. BPO, show me the savings, show me the efficiencies, and that's how you get remunerated. That's a win-win. And ultimately, when you've created the right organization, the right efficiency, and you as a ownership, as a shareholder, you have much better information, much better data, you can control your business much better.
Yeah.
And you should use BPO as a driver, as a tool for growth, because it's allowing you to focus on where the growth is rather than to get bogged down onto the back-end services.
I think you're touching a very important point. A lot of the family offices and companies in general, the clients, they look at BPO from a cost perspective, at least primarily.
Yes.
So it has to be looked at from different lenses. One of them is actually potential optimization, potential savings, but also more efficiency. I think
Correct.
this is the key driver, as well as a mean to grow and sustain the growth ultimately.
That should be the paramount reason
Yeah.
to go for these business process or optimization. It's to go for growth. Everybody wants to grow.
Yes.
Amazing. I'd like to discuss another point now. A family business is usually built around the legacy.
Yes.
Group of founders that infuse their culture, their way of doing things, and so on. And then people like you, they come in, they try to optimize, to bring the right governance, and so on. What's the recipe you bring? How you do it?
That's the $1,000,000 question. As I said earlier, it's a very hot topic.
Yeah.
It's discussed in majlises. It's obviously at the top of the 2026 being the year of the family, as you mentioned. Look, the way we see these day in, day out with our clients. As I said earlier, the founders are very hesitant to let go because they have built these companies with their own culture, with their own sweat. They've got their DNA into this fabric. The issue is you can't grow. You can't continue growing like this. And the biggest risk is if you continue working in that environment, what happens when that founder is no longer there, is absent from the business?
Yeah.
That culture is not institutionalized. It's only in his mind. Therefore, when he's no longer around, that culture disappears. So what best is to institutionalize the culture. And how do you institutionalize culture? This is where we continuously advise our clients, bring in this governance into the DNA of the company. And the best time to do this is when the founder is part of the decision-making process when we're discussing corporate governance. The founder's imprints, the DNAs, the culture, the values, the way he wants his business to have a legacy, they are incorporated into the corporate governance framework. Because if that person is not there, it will be the second generation doing the corporate governance that may not share the same values of the founder. So the best time to consider looking into corporate governance is when the founder is still in the business.
I would like to add one thing here, which complements a bit what you're saying. For me, one of the dangerous things that people say in a business, like nothing moves if I'm not around.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Very true.
That's very dangerous in,
Absolutely.
in a business.
Absolutely. We had another sort of situation, a client a few months back, where the siblings, the second generation, weren't getting along very well, and the amount of management time, the amount of value at risk that you put on companies, because the planning, the groundwork, the governance wasn't addressed when the founder, when the patriarch was around. It's very sad, and we always advocate: consider governance, consider a framework that you institutionalize while the founder is alive to make sure the legacy continues.
Yes.
That's very important.
Amazing. Majd, I'd like to ask you, what's your final thought on what businesses, family and private offices should do in order to institutionalize a bit? We mentioned governance, we mentioned also putting a track, succession planning, and so on. But what do you believe else they should do?
Well, look, actually, to proceed and to continue, most important thing is what does continuation of the legacy actually mean? Is it only the a good assets, or we need to be or actually we need something else to be built to sustain among the coming generation? Family need to acknowledge and understand that the rules of the game now is changing. The global markets now become have a new players. Those people have different capacities, capabilities. Technology is there. Technology definitely start reshaping the businesses. It's not just only the digital tools, the AI, the automation, but it become a different models. It's a new business models that now implemented. As Ara was saying, in order for attracting and retaining talents, it does very much require professional structure. So and the next generation, definitely, it is very much these people, the new generations, would not accept any autocratic decision making. So definitely you have to reshape things in a way that do sustain. Now, and most important, capital really is the main driver of growth. So if capital is required, that means definitely institutional investors. And if you're talking about institutional investors, you definitely you need to talk about institutionalized governors. So, and as Ara was really saying, we highly advise that do not wait up until there is a crisis. The families that succeeded long term are the ones that actually aren't the ones that have the best assets. They are those that actually that professionally start building up their corporate governance rules earlier. While trust and decisions are made in a very rational environment. Once conflicts erupted, once the founders are no more performing ill, once the next generation got into conflict and fights, governance become negotiation rather than building foundation.
Correct.
Then you start playing defense.
Yes.
Rather than sustaining growth. So governance, if they are built early, they become option.
Okay.
But if you delay that, they become painful. So this is really our main advice.
Oh, thank you. It's very valuable advice. It makes a lot of sense. It was a great pleasure hosting you today. I've enjoyed this discussion.
Oh, thank you.
Complements very well the BPO as a business. And I think for me the greatest takeaway is that as family offices and companies in general, with the new ways of operating model across, the combination that is being offered today hasn't been there at any point of history. So companies today operate on an Inshore model, on an Offshore model, in-house, outsourcing capabilities. So this is a lot of valuable treasure for any organization, including private and family offices.
Yeah, definitely.
And this combination can take them much farther than actually they could have done on their own. Exactly. And governance plus, as you mentioned, to be either successful at continuing and being a sustainable organization, but also an efficient one. The combination of governance and bringing the right people to support is key for any organization. So thank you very much.
Thank
it was
you.
a very valuable discussion.
Thank you.
And until next time, success starts with synergy.
Absolutely.
Always.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.